What's up? Episode 95 right here. Let's do it. Come on in. Happy Monday, everybody. Pretty good. All right. One, two, three, four, five. Little Baroque action. If it's not Baroque, don't fix it. What's up, everybody? Cardone here. You're at Evening Hour, episode 95. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying that. Soon we're going to get to 100. Joel, tell Ruth I said hi, too. What's up? We got a big group in here already. I love it. Ashworth, Dan, James, Jason, Joel, Lilith in the house. Fran, my mama, Peter, James. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monday. Cheers. Let's have a killer week. New York, killer weather right now. Perfect fall weather. Yeah, let me turn this down a bit. I got a juicy episode tonight. Lots of fire in tonight's episode. I can't wait. Before I get into the juice of what I have to say, I've only watched television a few times this year. They were movies. I don't think any of them were new. They were all old movies that I love. And literally last week on, I think it was Monday. No, it was Tuesday. My little one, who's not so little anymore, Moonlight, she was here and we were going to watch a movie, which is, when I watch a movie now, it's a big deal. It's like, oh, we're going to watch a movie, right? And, you know, there's new movies that are coming out that I hear about or someone will recommend. Mostly, even the ones I normally would want to see, I'm not watching. It doesn't fit into my 2-year filter of sorts. So I kind of was curious about the Sopranos movie. Now, I have seen season 1 of The Sopranos. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I really did. I thought it was a great television show, when it came out. I didn't get to see season 2, 3, 4. I didn't get to. Maybe one day I will see them. Maybe. Maybe I won't. But I know it's kind of a high-quality show. I've actually seen some of the other seasons, but episodes. I know some people in the show, and I've seen their episodes because I want to see their work. And so I'm like, all right, let's, maybe we should watch the new Soprano movie. I've already forgotten the title. That's how good of a title it is. The Many Saints of Newark, I believe it's called. And I don't even have Netflix. I don't have HBO. So my little one gave me, we have the passcode from her account. And so we put it in and we watch it, and within 10 minutes I turned it off. Garbage. Bad acting. Bad directing. Bad cinematography. Bad everything. Junk, 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 junk. I want my 10 minutes back. And, I was in the, Dan P., you rule. Thank you, brother. All those go straight to the source. Thank you so much. So, honestly, I can't say much. It was terrible. I didn't really get into the meat of it all. I know there's some political commentary that comes into the film later. So I wanted to watch a movie. So I said to my little girl, have you seen Godfather? Because I don't remember me watching it with you. And she said, no. And so we watched Godfather Part 1. I don't know if there's anybody watching right now that has never seen the Godfather series. The first two are fine works of art. Yeah. A lot of people like 2 better than 1. I think I still like 1 the most. I like the end of 1. I like the build to the climax. And it is so good. Like the whole time I'm watching that movie, you can just feel it creeping up. And you can feel the Michael Corleone character, just you can feel him changing without a lot. You know, there's no overacting in this. It's all subtle. So yeah, that's my movie experience of the week. I might watch Godfather 2 sooner than later. Maybe this evening. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a fan. I love those movies. As for that new piece of junk, I watched briefly The Real Gangster, Michael Francis, the son of Sonny Francis, who has a podcast. I watched his take on it, and he does this thing called Mob Movie Mondays, where he's like, look, I was in the mob. I'm going to watch these movies and tell you how authentic they are. Haven't seen the movie yet. Seems to be polarizing is an understatement. It's junk. It's garbage. The acting is garbage, man. I can't even... I don't know. It's people... It looks like a parody of a gangster movie. It looks like a Saturday Night Live version. I mean... I don't know. I can't take it. And again, I don't have time to waste on garbage. So I moved on, like I normally do, quickly. What else? If you're new to this show, just so you know, some of you are new watching this now, I can tell. You're not chiming in. Everybody chatting in here is a friendly face. Please, if you're new to this group, say hi. I want to get to know you. The group wants to get to know you. My mom is in the house. My mom's in here. She jumps in and talks. So just saying, this is a friendly group. We chat. Everybody in here is thoughtful, smart, curious, and really enjoys learning about new things and asking questions. So if you're new in here, say hi. We got people in here. Dan, come on. Thank you so much, brother. Really. So if you're chatty, this is a chat show. Chat. I want to hear comments. If you have something to say, if I misspoke about an idea that I'm on the wrong course in, tell me so I can go learn. What else? Also, if you're new to this channel, I'm not the kind of guy that's like, please donate, please donate. Although the donations really do make a difference. I do this full time. I perform full time. So this is one of the things I do. It goes right into my show. If you don't donate, that's fine. Great, watch. That's all I care about. But please just do the subscribe. It's the least you can do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notify bell, and then tell your friends and like the videos. That makes a big difference. Right now, all the social media platforms are they're getting a squeeze of sorts. We're living in the world of information and who's in charge of that information. And so right now, if I want to use free speech and speak to you, hi, blah, 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 it's going in the camera, through the wire, through multiple platforms. And many people put their hands on it before it gets to you. So, yeah, they don't make it easy for the little guy to do well anymore, even though the little guy is what built up all of these platforms. Now the corporate guys come in and take it over. It's what everything does. It's what everything does. Whether you have capitalism, socialism, communism, any isms, all of them eventually, might is right kicks in, the law of the jungle steps in, and somebody's there to make a quick buck, and it falls apart. This is just the way it's been since the dawn of time, as far as I can see. So none of these systems are perfect, and so digital media just mirrors all of that. It's the same thing. It's just now virtual. I will say the difference is the control of the information is literally a button and you're silenced and invisible. And then you got to stand on your porch and make lots of noise. And that might be the only version of free speech. handwritten and yelling. The town crier might return. So, yeah, and if you're into the mystery box things, notice people are gambling points. Dan P., you got enough points for a poster and a mystery box. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is good. That really is. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think I need to see it soon. I haven't seen it in 15, 20 years. And I know it's good. I've always liked it. Yeah, oh yeah, so if you chat in here, you get points. You get chat points. How do you know? You put, if you look in here, there's the directions on how to do it in the description below. But if you watch, you'll see. If you write, what is the thing that makes you ask for points? Well, you'll see. They're in their gambling points. When you have enough, you go to my online store, which is in the description, and you can get a poster or a mystery box. And I like making the mystery boxes. They're fun as hell. Yeah, you put exclamation point and then the word points right beside it, and then it'll tell you how many you have. Like Mark just did it, and he's got 331. So there you go. Now he can gamble them away or just save them and make more. Oh yeah. Satanic playing cards. Anybody that's got them on the way, they're definitely going to be a little late. I tried. I'm actually going to send a message out tomorrow. My dream was for it to be early or on time. I Kickstarter all the time. I've done maybe between 20 and 30 Kickstarters where I've given money. I would say 90% of them were late. 90%. 10% on time. Or no, I would say 8% on time, 2% early, and the rest late. It's because you're working with multiple things, and because my partner, who's an expat in Hong Kong, there's a money transfer thing, and then there's the manufacturing. The manufacturing part is everything's a little slow now. I don't have to tell you why. We have the pandemic, but there are shortages, folks. I don't think you realize this, but oh gosh, thank you everybody. Thank you, Ruby. That means a lot to me, man. Thank you. Seriously, thank you everybody. So, honestly, people don't realize this. I try to keep my head open. I think there's going to be another shortage, not the toilet paper one, but a lot of other little things. And I know this because they're talking about it. And when you hear it being talked about, there is a zeitgeist of sorts, and might as well keep your eyes open. So I think there's a lot of supplies and things that got, when they shut everything down, we're now going to feel it a year later. Why? Because they had this hole of production, and all the back stock ran out, and then there's the hole where now they're playing catch up. So I hate to be late. I don't even like to be late for like a dentist appointment or a thing. So this, I don't like it, but guess what? I can't do anything about it, and you will be getting the cards maybe 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Yeah. And I'll know exactly when soon. We're going to actually get the date when they're going to be done and shipped to me and the Hong Kong guy. And I think we're going to have them... Oh, I met James Hong. Low Pan. Oh, wow. Kickstarter's amazing. It really is. It's just not... It's a very loose system. I've Kickstarted things, and I've Kickstarted 2 projects that never got funded. I mean, they got funded, and then I never got the product. It's the risk part. But mostly it's been a good experience, and I like it. It's exciting. It's like buying something and not seeing it for a year or two. It reminds me of when you were little and you ordered crap from the back of a comic book. I know some of you did this. I think Lilith and her significant other know about this type of thing, because if you grew up in the 60s or 70s, ordering things out of the back of a comic book or a Johnson Smith catalog was a thing. It was my favorite thing in the world. And I'd order something and it would take months. You wouldn't see it for 6 to 8 months, maybe 9 months. Like these little ventriloquist guys right here. Those I think I ordered. They were like $1.50 each, and I didn't see them for 6 to 8 months. I remember them. When they showed up, it was a big deal. I'm going to be at Slipper Room this Friday. Anybody in the city wants to see a cool nightclub show. The Slipper Room, I believe, is New York City's now longest running burlesque show and burlesque house. They have their own venue. I'll be there Friday. What else? Oh, yeah. What time is it? I don't want... Oh, my gosh, I'm already over. I had some new notions on the free will debate. What's his name? Dan Dennett? The philosopher guy? Oh, the back of the cereal box. Of course! How many cereal box prizes? You had to save the little thing in the bottom. And by golly, it... Achilles! Thank you, Achilles. Bada boom! Tonight's a tippy night. I like it. Thank you. Flattered. Totally flattered. Thank you, everybody. And so... This is the free will thing. Check this out. Everything's determined, right? Let's just say everything is it's got a course of action. It's everything's moving in a direction of sorts. The idea is, if you can notice this, so this would be what they would call a compatibilist idea, meaning this is something that fits in between libertarianism, or AKA free will, not the political party, the philosophical notion, free will, libertarianism, and over here you have determinism, i.e. fate. I don't like the word fate. Compatibilism's in the middle. Here's what it is. This is kind of neat. It means, yes, everything's moving in a certain direction. And if certain types are able to see a little bit into the future by noticing a lot of things and kind of putting the puzzle pieces together, the people that can do that, if you can see ahead, you just changed your past. Right there. Because now you have knowledge about something that's probably going to happen on your pantheon of choices. Choices that weren't there before. But here's the weird part. You're still compelled to pick one of those choices. So it's free will without the free part. That's compatibilism. And I can wrap my head around that a bit. What that means, the function of that, I haven't wrapped my head around all the way. But I'm starting to chew on the notion of, if you can see ahead using your smarts and your instincts, and I call it your deterministic brain. I don't know if there's a word for it yet. I call it that. That means you've just added a layer of choices that were not there before. And maybe this guy here who can't see ahead, he doesn't have those choices. That's kind of how I've been looking at it the whole time. I just hadn't seen someone talk about it like that. Dennett is the guy that I saw that with. Ashworth in the house. Thank you, Ashworth. That means a lot. Hey, folks, seriously, I'm flattered. It's a very tippy night tonight. The smoking monkey. Okay, I had the smoking dog. My granddad had it. My granddad ordered that from a comic book. It was a little plastic dog. I wish I still had it. And it came with those tiny little cigarettes. And you put the little cigarette in the ad said smoking dog. And when I was a kid, I remember seeing that thinking, they figured out a way you can teach your pet how to smoke. What I didn't realize is the smoking dog was that big, and you put a little cigarette, but it did something. When you lit it, it blew little smoke rings off the end of the cigarette. I swear. I still have it. Smoking pet. I mean, I said I wish I had it. I don't have that. God, if I had it, I'd go get it and show you. All right, so let's go into the show. I don't want to waste time. I had a crazy week, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my week, and then I wanted to talk a lot about something I've been learning that I can't believe I didn't focus on when I was younger, and that is, I want to talk a little bit about Mortensen. Oh, why is my camera glitchy? Wow, look at that glitchy camera. Me no like. Did you see that glitchy camera? Let me try it again. Glitchy camera. Terrible. Terrible. I gotta fix that. Well, here. This camera ain't glitchy and it's good. This here, Command to Look, Feral House Publishing. This book, if you don't have this, write it down and go get it. If you're a fan of photography, art, how the media brainwashes people, the occult sciences, Satanism, photography, visual arts, this book is insane. We'll talk about it a little bit. I'm going to go into a little bit of a notion of it. So last Thursday, I can't really say too much about this, but I had a regular night at my burlesque show. Dan, you've been to there. Some of these people have been to my show. I run a burlesque show with magic every week at a venue out where I live. Very successful, sold out usually every week. Usually a couple weeks ahead. The venue has really good food, and there's no liquor. You bring your own booze, which is kind of cool. So people bring their own booze. They eat really, really fancy food. And I am not kidding. When I say fancy food, it's like fancy tuxedo style food and a very crazy punk rock vibe, right? And then me doing magic. Great show. Well, end of Act 1. It's the end of Act 1. The performer's done doing a burlesque number. And so I collect some tips with a little bucket while they're performing. I'm the MC, but I also hustle tips. I'm good at hustling tips. I know how to hustle tips. No, even though here, I'm not... You guys are all tipping me tonight. It's hilarious. It's so weird. So anyway, I got the tip bucket, and I have the girl's clothes in the other hand because she just did her number. And there's a... you might not know this, but in burlesque, there's a job title called the stage kitten. And the stage kitten is the lady, or the stage panther if it's a guy, picks up the clothes after the show. That's all. And in this one, I don't need an extra person. It's easy. I just grab it and go. And I give the girl her tips for that number and her clothes. So she goes out the back door to the dressing room area, which is outside. It's like you leave outside, go through like a outdoor patio place. Yeah, you do need this book, everybody. I'm going to talk about it tonight. It's going to blow your mind. It's $13 on Amazon. Just go order it. The Feral House is pretty cool too. So she's done. She goes to the dressing room. She's half naked. She's not naked. She's, it's legal. You can wear pasties and do all this stuff. It's legal. And New York City got rid of all cabaret licenses. You don't need a cabaret license anymore. Giuliani enforced it in awful manners. They were ticketing people dancing in venues for people dancing in them. It was crazy. That's New York City from like 96 to 2002. Draconian enforcements. So the girl leaves and goes around the corner. I have my bucket. I got the clothes. I'm walking out the door. I'm in a great mood. Whenever I'm there, I got a big smile. And everybody I see, I'm like, what's up? Right? And I see a whole group of people coming in. And they don't look so happy. The next thing I know, I'm staring at ATF agents. And they're throwing me against the wall. I almost got popoed away. It's traumatic, folks. I talked my way out of it. I can't go into details. Anyway, they arrested some waitresses, waiters, the doorman, and the owner. And it's a bunch of horseshit. Okay? I'm going to be honest. It's horseshit. It's like a scene out of 1930s Prohibition era crap. Not good. They're picking on people. They find places they don't like, and they'll pick on them. And they'll go after you for rules that, well, Dan, I just read your comment because there's a delay. Yeah. So I don't know yet. I can't say much of what's going on, but we ain't breaking the rules. And they are, they lost a lot of money. I'm going to be honest. The police are used to raising lots of money writing tickets and parking tickets. And dude, the city's revenue is ticket writing and fines for homeowners that don't have the new permit for this boiler and that pipe. They literally added a new thing where there's a pipe. This is the front of my house here. In the front of the house, there's a pipe that goes from the sidewalk. It goes from the house out to the sidewalk. It's a little gas pipe. I have to now pay to get that inspected. And if you fail, which could be anything, so they're just now, they've moved who they make money off of now. They've shifted everything around. And so seeing it right before my very eyes and literally me getting thrown against the wall by ATF people, boo, 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 not cool. So a lot of my stuff right now is put on a little pause button here because it's not good and we have to figure out what to do. So, yeah, thank you, Ruby. Yeah, not good. Not good. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm just saying, that's what's going on. I don't need that. Nobody needs that. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. When you see waiters getting cuffed for nothing, boo. And I didn't see anything on the news or anything either. I've been looking for news or blurbs and yeah. So anywho, I talked my way out of it and here I am. And then Saturday, I got a gig, which beautiful. I mean, I got a gig out in the Hamptons. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see some posts. I can't ever post. Yeah, ATF and NYPD. There were some of those guys there too. It was bad. Yeah, so I don't get to post my private party stuff too much because some of them I'm not allowed. And this one we weren't really allowed, but they said okay to some stuff. Somebody who's like a movie producer threw a really big fancy party. And they hired a circus. And they hired like a 15-piece band, fully catered meals. It was like a circus tent with 300 candles. And yeah, it was beautiful. So it was, yeah, they do. Well, that's it, Lilith. You are right. You are right. They don't like watching people have fun and make money. Yeah, it's got a Puritan vibe. It's got the, you're having fun, you know? Don't like it. We really do have fun there. Dan was there. Dan has been there. He's experienced the magic of that venue. It is pure magic. Really, there's no place like it. I'm hard to please these days, and that kind of a place is the kind of place I really do like. It's got a very free-flowing, fun vibe, no BS. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's eating well. The shows are friendly and fun. So, 2-finger salute to that whole thing. So, let's chat about this William Mortensen. Because we have a lot of people in here that like occult notions. And a lot of people here who like to study psychology. Right? And so, I knew about this guy for years. I mean, I'd heard the name. I knew that Anton LaVey used Mortensen as one of his inspirations for writing the Satanic Bible. Right? I mean, it's a photo book. This book is this is to teach photo students, and it became a source book for the Satanic Bible. So if anybody out there doesn't know about Anton LaVey or the occult or the Satanic Bible, if you would read this book, your brain will be blown away because you will see the secrets to real magic in a photo manual. And there's an old saying amongst magicians meaning, stage magic. And that is, if you want to hide a secret, put it in a book because nobody reads. And so right here it is. Studying and Not Worshiping. This is a book to study right here. So I got it. When did I order this book? 6 months ago? Maybe? I gave it a passive read, but I didn't detail it. And when I mean detail, I can't read anymore unless I have a pencil in my hand. And I need to be able to write in the margins and outline. And that's where I layer it in my brain. So I'm learning here, but when I start writing in the book and taking notes, I start chewing on it. I'll stop and think, and it takes me a while. I don't fly through books. I chew them. I literally feel like I'm chewing on food and tasting different flavors. So I got the book, and recently I started digging in. And so quickly, a lot of people don't know who William Mortensen is. My ex-wife, who made a living as a photographer and was working for like big magazines. She used to shoot GQ, Esquire. She's Japanese, and so she moved to New York City, and we were married, and she was getting, it's kind of interesting, she was getting jobs to shoot a lot of African American people because Japanese people don't know how to light black people's skin. They don't know how to set the lights. It's different. And she got good at it. So she was getting jazz musicians and all this stuff and getting really good jobs. And she didn't even know who Mortensen was. She was like, Now, why? Well, it seems to me that during his day, he was really well known and people liked him. But a few of the famous photographers didn't like him, and they went out of their way to kind of erase him from the pantheon who they considered to be photographers that they liked, that meant that had their values. And this guy, Mortensen, I mean, I'm reading this book. I don't see anything weird in here. Now, I'm a weirdo, as many of you are too, so you won't notice it. There you go. So there it is, yeah. Yeah, well, Feral House, yeah, Lilith just right, thank dog, which I love. Feral House reprinted it. This is a reprint. Yeah, the original was rare. And this has really good, yeah, Ansel Adams, right. Ansel Adams, the famous photographer, crapped all over this guy. It has a really good intro, a really good outro. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I already knew a lot about this, the notions in here, and I already use a lot of them. But it's so great to see him write it down and detail it because I learned a lot more, and I want to talk about it today. I'm going to tell you about it if you don't know about some of the notions in here, and you won't be able to not see them anymore. Oh, someone just won 200 points. Cool. So, yeah. He served in WW1, William Mortensen. He's, I think, Dutch or Danish. American. And he was shooting glamour photos. First, I think he got a job in Hollywood making masks and props. And he was working under Cecil B. DeMille, some of these big, heavy-hitting Hollywood types. And then he started doing photography. I think he was like a failed visual artist with drawing. Started doing photography, and yeah, there it is. Lilith said it. He invented Photoshop. He started doing some crazy techniques with how he produced the photo, and he would add to the photo. He would paint on them. He would scratch them. He would texture them. The guy was an artist, folks, a real one. And here's the deal. The subjects that he shot, character, nudes, and grotesques. I wrote he's heavily influenced by archetypes and the Jungian notion of archetypes. And so so he came up with a technique, which is what this book is. It's literally the command to look. How do you get somebody to look at something? How? Because that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to, Stephen Romano Gallery. I think he's probably one of the world's foremost experts on Mortensen, right, Lilith? I would say so. I remember seeing Mortensen's prints, the real ones, at the gallery while you were there. I think we were there together. I remember it was for a Devil's Reign show. So, how do you get someone to look at something? Well, I use these techniques in magic all the time. How do you get someone to look at you on stage? How do you, okay, it's all the same thing. Art is all the same to me. Visual art, a painting, shares so many concepts as maybe a performance art. The difference is one's silent and doesn't move, and the other one's moving and makes noise. So there is a difference. Oh, what's that weird noise? Am I coming in loud and clear? I think so. Yeah. So anywho, so here we go. He created a system, a literal kind of a science to how to get somebody to pay attention to something. Okay. So the first thing our attention goes to whenever your attention's out. So, okay, check this out. When you're sitting here, like me, I'm sitting here right now. My brain is data processing information. It's looking at text, the camera, the lights, right? Everything's going on. And I would say 90% of the information coming into my brain right now, I'm ignoring and filtering out. And there's like a very sliver of things that I'm noticing that I need to notice, like the messages. And so, well, what kind of a thing do you notice? In this of data processing, what grabs your attention? Wow, look at her butt. No, I'm kidding. But that's one. Sex sells, right? I mean, that stops. Well, here's what it is. If you look at our basal ganglia, which I'm always talking about, the lizard brain, fight, F-bomb, flee, friend, indifferent. Those things. Those are the things that kind of get you to stop. So he thought, Mortensen, that the one that really gets you to notice, because of our primary factor of what to be doing, it's to stay alive. If you talk to Nietzsche, he would say the will to power is your main function, and under that is your survival, stay alive. But let's just make it stay alive for simplicity's sake right now. Thank you. Thank you. It sounds okay? Yeah, it made a weird noise. So stay alive. So that means if our primary function is to stay alive, that means the nice butt that I just saw has one thing above it, and that is danger. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. That's first. So that's where he starts. If you want somebody to look at something, you gotta have the danger. Even if it's a picture of a cute little baby, you can still have this notion, this symbology, this energy of a dangerous thing just to get them to stop. Oh, and then you can go, oh, look, it's a cute baby. It's kind of a neat little psychological trick. So there it is. So now that he broke it down as, all right, well, the primary thing to get you to pay attention to something is danger. Let's talk about that now. Let's do the Socratic method and ask, well, what's that mean now? What's the danger? What danger? How? What's it look like? Where, right? So he started breaking it down. I'm going to write this down. This was his formula. And now, okay, so we're talking about photographs, black and white photographs, actually. And to get someone to look at your black and white photograph for art purposes, the picture, by its mere arrangement, must make you look at it. So however it's arranged, it just has to grab your eye. 2, having looked, see. And number 3, having seen this thing, you enjoy it. Right there, you enjoy that looking at it. So let's look at it. Oh, okay. So then he wrote, well, why do we make art? Let's see. Joy and a spiritual release. The act of doing it makes you feel good. Number 2, money or work. And 3, you feel like you're affecting others. Power. All of these, you have to notice the photo for it to work. So back to the beginning. How do you get them to look? All right, here we go. 4 visual fears, he called it. So, right, like 4 things that you visually fear. And when I say them, try to imagine all of the memes, little short videos, horror films, that use these techniques. So number one is swift movement across vision. Swift and determined. Pew. What the heck was that? Anybody ever see Exorcist 3? That movie has one of the most terrifying jump scares in all of movie history that takes place in a hospital. I won't say what it is if you haven't seen the movie. It has to do with a side-to-side motion, but it's a, yeah, it just goes by. And you're like, what was that? Okay, that will trigger you. 2, slithering, the S movement, the slithering. Okay? Slithering towards. Okay? Now, these are all fears that Mortensen said. He called them racial fears, meaning if you go back to when we were cavemen, these were the things we were afraid of. Right? We evolved with these fears. They're like literally in our back of our core brain. These things are hardwired to scare us. Have you ever seen monkeys with a snake in the room? They go bonkers. Right? So that's number 2, the slither, the slow, weird, creeping forward slither. 3, the threat of sharpness. Tooth, blade, teeth, jagged, stalagmite. Right? That's an easy one. That's probably the most obvious. And then 4, I really like. Massive stationary object that blocks the path. A large beast. It could be an inanimate object. Godzilla standing on the road. Cthulhu rising out of the ocean. Right? This is like godlike power. So those were the 4 that he broke it down to. And of course, there's subdivisions or combos of these. But they're all different picture patterns. And he then, this is why you got to get the book, he shows you how you can do that in a 2D non-movement format. How do you create a movement, a streak, a line, a jagged edge, an angle, something that attracts your attention and something that might jar you a bit. And the thing is, it could be a picture of a cute baby and the shadows do it. Okay, so now the thing that's funny about this book is there's a lot of sideshow references, circus and sideshow. Because he always talks in the book that, and I'll get into this here, this is where it gets really good. So, showmanship, it makes you look at it. The showman comes first. Oh, yeah. So, he called it an impact. It's a cocoon. And he said, the first blow is biological. He's like, dude, to really get you to look at this, we're going to actually use science and biology first. Then we're going to go to your emotions. But first, I just got to do, are these 4 things to be used at once or separate things to each other? Okay, great question, Mark. Excellent. Well, I think they can all be used, but I think in his world, it would be better to use them separately and make it crystal clear. And so what I want to do now, I'm going to show you a really short clip of a movie. It's free. It's about 35 minutes long. I'm only going to show you like a couple minutes of it. It's on YouTube. And I never knew about this. And I was shocked when I saw it. Because it has one of my favorite human beings of all time as the narrator. So I'm going to show it now. You get to see some of his artwork and hear some of the things I'm talking about now. When we come back, I'm going to go into the layer underneath this, which is after you get them to stop and look, how do you get them to stay? So check this out. I'm going to play this now.
Mortensen summed the matter up some years ago in a book called Monsters and Madonnas. The monster, of course, is the machine, the mechanical aspect of photography, domineering and aggressive, endlessly spawning more machines. The Madonna represents not a character in religious drama, but creative fertility, the energy of the imagination. Despite all the commercial abuses of photography, despite the senseless proliferation of gadgets, despite the exploitation of mere technique as an end in itself, one salutary fact stubbornly persists, a fact often overlooked, but always at hand for those with the ability to use it. The fact that the camera is and always has been a most excellent tool for making not just photographs, records of whatever the camera happens to be pointed at, but pictures which point the eye of the mind at an idea as well as at an image. One man, one photographer, has for the past 40 years known, been driven by, followed, and defended this truth. William Mortensen. He has been called radical, shocking, and even subversive by many photographers. He confounds such criticism by continuing to create pictures, and his pictures speak for themselves. What motivated this man to create such pictures as these? Perhaps it was the influence of the old masters that infused his early interest in art. If you say, as sometimes people do, that these pictures look like paintings, it is not because they imitate them, but because Mortensen concerns himself with the same problems the painter does. For these are photographs, made with strict photographic techniques. And these photographic procedures are of his own creation.
Okay, so there you go. There's a little bit of his photos are awesome. I can't believe that those famous guys crapped all over him. He was cool. So think about this. Using a notion of fear to get you to pay attention. Okay. Think about Facebook last week. We can talk about that. So the first blow to get them to look is biological. Danger, pay attention. All right? Quickly, instinctively, you stop, you look, and then you realize that it's harmless. Okay? So now that you have them, oh yeah, here. So how do you hold their attention? Well, now you got to go to the emotions. You got them. Now you got to say something. How many times do we get attracted to something and the message is garbage and you ignore it? Or vice versa. Somebody has a really good message and you can't get anybody to listen. Why? Because you can't get them to stop in their tracks. So no one's stopping and you have this great message. So now he's like, you got him. Now you got to have meat. And how do you do that? Well, this dude worked for Cecil B. DeMille. And Cecil B. DeMille thought the things that get people emotionally hooked are sex, sentiment, religion, and sport. Mortensen honed it a bit. And I like what he did. Oh, the full video? If you look up William Mortensen, I think it's the first thing that pops up. There's not much on YouTube about the guy. There's a couple videos of Steven Romano talking about him, and then this one. Yeah, it's a great movie. You should watch it. It's really got lots of insight, and it shows the pictures. So first you get their attention. Now it has to appeal to the emotion, and he thought, Mortensen, the three are sex, sentiment, and wonder. And wonder is what I deal with daily. That's what I get paid to do. So when I was reading this, I was like, wow, I not only know about this, I can tell you case studies of over 3,000 plus experiments, meaning my shows, and how people reacted. Sex, sentiment, and wonder. And wonder is the subject. And here, in this book, this has one of the best descriptions of wonder I have ever seen. And I have a lot of books on wonder. Behind this camera, there's about 250 books dealing with the subject of wonderment and how to create it in a as magic, right? Okay, so, you found it? Cool. Here we go. Wonder. That which is unknown, uncertain, or mysterious in its workings is always a subject of interest. And despite the swagger of our modern learning, there is still much that remains very mysterious to us today. Night and its shadows surround us during half the period of our life on Earth, and at least half of the things about us remain strange and mysterious in their working. We all of us are conscious of forces that move behind the shadows. The powers of darkness are still with us. This is an artist understanding the power of darkness. Here it is. We don't know where we're going after, we're dead. We all die. We all know we're going to die. No one can deny that. People debate and argue what happens after. But at any rate, there's all these mysteries. A lot. And if you stop and think of what we don't know and or will never know, it makes you go nuts. So that's wonder. Now, after you get them to stop and pay attention, and then they go, there's a connection here, a hook, an emotional hook. The third part of it, he said was called see it and enjoy it. And what he means by that is after the attention is there, then they must be guided through the picture. They get to play in the picture. And what do you mean by that? Well, he says textures, lines. This is where the audience looking at the two-dimensional artwork participates. This is the Where's Waldo moment, where you're like, what else is in here? Ooh, look at the weird textures over here, right? So you got them to look. You give them an emotional hook. Maybe it's the eyes of the subject. There's a sexy vibe that makes you want to know what the person looks like without their clothes on. Maybe there's a demonic energy that's kind of scary and attracts you in a weird way. But then once they have that happen, then you got to participate in the painting. And you can go, oh, look, he added something here. Or the way it's developed here, it's something active, something to get you to get your brain on it. When I do shows, I do the same thing. I learned this in theater school about getting the audience to ask questions. If you, as a performer, walk out on stage and people go, oh, I've seen somebody like this before, I kind of think I know what he's going to do, that's not as good as somebody walking out on stage and you're like, what's this guy going to do? That second one, the what's this guy going to do, they're going to watch. Their eyes are on you. Or what if somebody walks out on stage and they look kind of dressed in a black suit and tie and you notice there's a little bit of toilet paper sticking off the back of the guy's shoe. There's a question. It's like, does he know that's there? They're not going to not look. You got him. I know a guy that did headshots, like an actor headshot. Like when you go to an audition. And just to be different, he did a headshot with a bird on his head. I swear to God, it's him like this, and he's got his pet bird on his head. I think it kind of worked, and he did land some jobs because of it. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So, the link doesn't work? What? I just watched it the other day. So, that's this guy's technique. And so if you get this book, not only does it layer what I just said and then some, it breaks it down and shows you with each picture what he's talking about. I mean, this is gold. I don't care who you are taking pictures or whatnot. This is freaking awesome, folks. It's applied knowledge right here. It's not BS. And now, how does this have anything to do with Satanism, occult, witchcraft, Facebook, subliminal advertising? It's all here. Facebook realized that if they group people into sounding boards, put all these people over here that like these things, put all these people over here that like things, and then you get them all together and they're like, hey, we're a group and we feel great. Then you throw into the group little kernels of things they don't like. You got them by the balls. They're not going anywhere. It's a great technique. And my question is, and it's funny, I've already seen some people say that the whistleblower did it for reasons not that she's just being a good person, because they're trying to say, because one of the things the whistleblower of Facebook said was Facebook during the election stopped doing the bad stuff and started cracking down on misinformation. When I heard that, I'm like, wait, you're blowing the... This is a very subtle detail that most people didn't notice. She's like, Facebook is bad. They're using an algorithm to irritate people to keep them online, even when they know it causes problems, because it makes people not want to leave. If you scare somebody... Dude, CNN had that death tracker on the corner of the TV. I knew people that wouldn't take that channel off their TV and would stare at it. That's what that is. That works. That's a technique to get you to not look away. You could say they were doing it for the betterment of humanity, but they make money doing it. I mean, it clearly makes more money when you do that. Just like the cigarette companies. When they got told they had to put causes cancer, and then they heard that it makes them sell more, they were like, all right, let's do it. So this whistleblower's like, Facebook's bad. But when they were regulating things, meaning when Facebook was fact-checking more, it wasn't as bad? What? That's what I was like, wait, there's double talk there. I get that she's a whistleblower, but why? It's almost like she's saying that we need to now make them do these weird fact checks, which, again, when I started seeing that, I started researching what that meant and whose sources they were using, and I wasn't happy. I don't like that kind of stuff. I prefer to get baloney. Great quote, Lilith. Anton LaVey said, good looks don't matter, but looks are all important. Wow. What was that in? What book is that in, or essay or article? That is gold. Yeah, I mean, everything's misinformation. Even real facts aren't really facts anymore. You know, like things that we hold dear as fact, if you start pulling them apart, usually aren't. It's kind of weird. I honestly don't think there's anything anymore there's no real fact. It doesn't exist. There's close to fact. It's close to the truth, but it's never the truth. Well, that's it. Who's deciding? That's it. It's a mess. It's a mess. So either we have two choices. Either we let it be chaos, information chaos, and have to deal with the aftermath, or we pick people that get to decide. The problem with picking people that get to decide is I have this thing called there's always an asshole. It's my theory of why things are. There's always going to be the problem guy. So whoever you get to pick to do it, there's going to be a problem eventually. I want to know all info, even the bad stuff, even the fake. You know, that's fine. But that quote, wow, it's Satanic Witch. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that it would be in that book. Because he talks about in the Satanic Witch that the archetype of a female witch, of course, there's the sexy witch, but then we have the old crone, the old scary witch, and both of them have lots of power, and both of them know how to snare men. They do. They just have different techniques. So what LaVey said there, good looks don't matter, but looks do, meaning if you're ugly, you got to use it. There's a way to use it. I love it. Anton LaVey also had the law of the forbidden, which is the notion of striptease as opposed to nude. If a girl's partially clothed, you're more paying attention than if she's already fully naked. And that applies to anything forbidden. Anything that you're not supposed to see, hear about, or know about, boop, it turns the curiosity factor up. Clear as day. The other thing that Anton LaVey talked about that a lot of people don't understand is the law of the trapezoid. And I would say that law of the trapezoid is Mortensen's number 4 fear. The monolith. The large object in your way that's uncanny. That's the law of the trapezoid. LaVey always said trapezoids are, it's a natural shape that draws your attention and makes you feel uneasy because the sides aren't all even, and a trapezoid is a pyramid missing the top. So every time you see this trapezoidal shape, your subconscious notices something's missing, and it's uneven. And he pointed out that haunted houses have trapezoidal roofs and so on and so on. And that's where, as a kid, when I read about the law of the trapezoid, it literally made me start to pay attention to shapes and what they made me feel. Something I never would have paid attention to at an early age. Now, studying magic, psychology, occult knowledge, I understand it all. Now, a lot of you, if you're watching, you hear me talk about the occult and supernatural stuff. I don't believe in a supernatural like most people. I have a different version of it. I like super space natural. I fall into the Epicurean category of, if there are gods in the universe, they're made of matter and space. They're just other entities. They're not omniscient, omnipotent creatures that live above the laws of nature and physics. I don't buy into that. Maybe they're there. I have seen no evidence of such. But I can wrap my head around natural things literally making people have the same experience as a supernatural experience, and their brain interprets it as supernatural because we evolved to do that. I get it. So that's my version of the occult and supernatural. I do think they both are powerful and have the same results and basically are the same thing. My version's based in a reality of sorts that I've not only, I get how it works here, like my brain understands it, I have applied it my whole life. I've seen it actually work. That's why I really buy into it. This book here also, to me, makes me really want to work and think more about the notion of, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how many doctorates you have, how many books you've read. We all have a brain that runs on chemical processes, and lights affect us, and smells affect us, and certain shapes and certain things really, really do have a way of affecting us chemically that we're not conscious of. It's a subconscious. And this is subliminal advertising. This is what they started studying. And I really do think it's so powerful that it's hard to believe. What is it? 95% of our brain functions subconscious. It's this tiny little conscious part. And my pal, Rick Sherman, who's in here a lot, I don't know if he's in here tonight, he said that magic is taking that subconscious part of our brain and making it conscious. And when you're able to do that and notice certain things, now you're in the realm of real magic. Real magic. It's where everything comes together. And so once you open up your subconscious mind and start being able to not only see it and you control it a bit and notice it, noticing it's the first thing, you're able to deal with it better. And you're able to control your behaviors that we evolved to do, but are bad. The other day I was talking to somebody about protesting and all the people freaking out and riots, and I'm like, they're like, those dummies. And I'm like, yeah, but they evolved to do that. That's natural. Even though it's horrible, it's kind of normal. That's what made the human race survive 200,000 years ago, those bad behaviors. So once you're able to tap into your subconscious and realize what's going on, yeah, well, science is getting there. It's definitely getting there. Like, neuroscience is the new one that's starting to, like, really open up some avenues of seeing this. Literally figuring out what parts of the brain are doing these things. Mind-blowing. Endless stuff to learn about. Wow. Woo! 9:07. I'm going to start the rest of my Monday. I got a busy week. Folks, I had a blast tonight. Tonight's subject matter was one of my favorite things to talk about. It's the thing I probably talk about the most and think about the most. And that is art, magic, and how it all kind of goes together. Real magic, fake magic, and the blending of the two. So I literally could talk about this for 10 hours. Oh, wow. I hope you had fun tonight. I certainly did. I want you all to, you want a book? Dude, it's an easy read. It's not that thick. It's tiny. This fits in your bag. Put it in the bathroom. Read a couple pages every day. And you have a killer photo book because the pictures in here are great. But it's the meat that's in here. This is now goes in one of my... I would probably put this book now in the top 10 list of my books. Seriously. I can't say that about much. Wow, what a great show, folks. I got a smart group in here. Really, really wonderful group of people. And I gotta say, tonight, the donations were off the charts. Thank you. Good Lord. It all goes in the show, folks. Really. And I'm getting close to the 900 mark. Let me look here. I think we are at, how many? I'm at 839. So, we're getting close to 60 more, and I'm at 900. When I hit 1,000, I swear, I'm going to do some crazy stuff. I'm going to do a giant giveaway. Raffles and fun stuff for free. And I think I'm going to do a road trip. A big one for this show. For this channel. I'm going to do a couple little wild road trips. They're all in the works. It's coming. Yeah. Oh, you just ordered it, Ruby. Yes. Great. I love it. When people buy books, I'm happy. And this is a great book. You can apply this knowledge to so many things. Whether you're an artist or you're in advertising or you just want to understand how our brain works. Because you're curious. And why would you not want to learn this? It's so cool that we can do this now. Wow. All right, folks. I got a Monday evening to do. And, yeah, let's have fun. Let's have a good, productive week. Everybody, thank you. I'm flattered I have a crowd. And my top 10 book list, I'm going to make one. I actually have never sat down and made an official I've done my film list, but I don't think I've done a book list. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to try to do one. Top 10 books. I'm going to write down a few now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I already got 3 or 4 down now. Okay. Thank you for that. I'm going to do that. Joel, Amanda, Achilles, all the donors, thank you. Wow, I can't believe it. I had a great time tonight. I got meat to chew on, and so do you. Have a great week. Thank you for being in here. I'm going to take us out with the end credit, and I'll see you not Wednesday, possibly Friday, definitely next Monday. And I got some cool stuff in the works. And I'm going to do a part 2 to this on another notion that's in the book at the end. So, thank you, everybody. I'm going to take us out and party on Wayne.